How's it going, guys? alecandstuff here. Today is March 10th, otherwise known as Mario Day, and Mario is now in his mid-30s, and over those years he's touched the hearts of millions and millions of people around the world through his games. And I've been a fan of Super Mario ever since I was first able to hold a controller and play on my own, which, if I calculate in my head, is about, 20 years. It's about 20 years. So, as much as I could talk about every game I've played starring our red-capped plumber, I thought I would celebrate today by talking about my favorite Mario game I've ever played, which is Super Mario Galaxy. So, if we're talking about the time it was released, I remember in the weeks leading up to the game's release back during the winter of 2007, oh boy, that's like close to 10 years ago, but anyways, our local GameStop had gotten a demo unit in store that featured some of the levels from the game, and if you went in, you could play the game a few weeks ahead of release, which was a really crazy concept for me at the time because I was really young and I was like, what? Playing a game before it's out? Is that allowed? But, I knew this because at the time I was a very active user on a it wasn't increasingly popular, it wasn't, crazy or anything, but it was a decently popular Nintendo forum. Although the name escapes me at the moment, I'm not sure what the name of it was, but it was a pretty decently sized community. So, anyways, there was a thread that shot up to the top of the general discussion board that day, and it stated that several GameStops around the country, and I believe a few other stores, I don't remember those either, it was a very long time ago, so a few other stores were getting their demo units in for Super Mario Galaxy, and as soon as I saw this, I absolutely 100% knew I had to go play this. I was already really excited as it was, and to be able to play it ahead of time just threw me for a loop. I was going crazy. It was amazing. But so, myself and my friend begged my father to take us, and he did, thankfully, and we went, and when we got there, there was a GameStop employee on shift that had just finished setting up the display, and when we got there, I was like, oh my god, is that it? And the guy was like, yeah, sure, you guys want to play? And we of course said yes, and we were there for quite some time, a few hours, if I remember correctly, and my poor father, he was there the whole time, but playing it that day, I knew it was a game that was going to be amazing. I knew it was a game that I was going to absolutely adore. And upon playing the demo, I noticed that the music was brand new, fresh, but it also still evoked that same Mario sound in a way. I'm not sure how to explain it, but everything about the music that I heard that day, it's fully orchestrated, which is something that was new for the Mario series at the time, and it sounded way different than anything I'd ever heard in a Mario game, but the sound was still that classic Mario. It still had that Mario personality to it. And the visuals blew me away. The level design was amazing. And my poor father sat in there in that GameStop for however long we were there playing until he was ready to just go. He was ready to quit. But the game came out not too long after, and it ended up being my favorite Mario game I've ever played, even now, almost 10 years after the fact. That is a crazy concept to me, that number one, that is almost 10 years old, and number two, that it's still my favorite game in the Mario series. But the reason why it's such a great game for me is because of how fresh everything felt. And I know I've already said that, but I'm going to go ahead and go over it again. So the game, as I said, the music was brand new. It was that brand new sound, but it's something about it still sounded like classic Mario. I can't find the words to describe it, but yeah, so that blew me away. Everything about the game still hits a perfect 10 for me. The visuals are amazing, the level design, even the soundtrack. The soundtrack is probably my favorite thing about the whole entire game. And even if I feel like if I say it's my favorite thing about the game, I feel like I'm sort of belittling the rest of the game, which I'm not. The whole game is absolutely a masterpiece, but I guess the soundtrack is one of the highlights of it. I don't know. I don't want to sound like I'm belittling any sort of part of this game because it is my favorite Mario game, and it is so great. But I'm getting off track here. So, the reason why that it's such a great game for me is because everything about it is great. Everything about it is so distinctively Galaxy, and that's what it takes to make a great game almost 10 years after launch. You know, if you play through a level, you know you're playing Galaxy. If you hear the title theme, or if you hear any of the level themes, you know that is coming directly from Super Mario Galaxy. And that is what makes it so great to me. It has its own personality. It came to the Wii with such a good idea of what it was and what it wanted to be, and it achieved that on every single level. It is amazing to me that that game is as good as it is. But anyways, I'm getting off on a tangent here, but with that said, that is my short story of my experience with my favorite game of all time in the Mario series, being Super Mario Galaxy. Oh, man. Anyways, with that said, that is my short story of my experience with my favorite Mario game of all time, being Super Mario Galaxy. What's your favorite Mario game, and why? Feel free to leave a comment below. I'd love to discuss with you guys. And as always, I'm alecandstuff, and I will see you all in the next video. Oh! And happy Mario Day.